Yes, sir, Wagwan. This is the Sports Time Zone. Noom se noom in the building right now. I got my co-host in the building, TZ Dave. Dave, stop.
What's
Y'all know
happening?
what it is. Also, I got my producer Q the Beat in the building, always holding it down. Yes, sir. And this is New York City episode. New York stand up. All of my New York, Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, Manhattan, all the boroughs. Shout out to Buffalo, New York, to upstate. Everybody up there in the 718-212. All that New York City in the building. That's what we all about. But before we even get into that with my man LP and also my man Kev, co-host Kev, Nixon ish in the building. Before we even get into any of that, make sure y'all do this. Hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe. TZ Dave, tell them what else they need to be doing.
And follow us on Instagram at SportsTime_Zone and YouTube on our page. We almost on the road to 3K. So get us there, man. We climbing, we grinding. Keep supporting us, man. We on the way, man. 3K.
We on the way. You coming. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, real talk. Oh man. New York, man, this has been a year for New York. One thing that I did want to touch on before we even get into anything else also is how did it feel? And I'm gonna ask both of my two New York residents that are in the building right now. How did it feel watching Saquon Barkley win a Super Bowl championship and hold up that trophy? That was a little surprise when y'all didn't see that question coming. I'll start with you, Kev. Kev, how did you feel?
I've known Chill for a long time through social media. So this kind of question wasn't unexpected. I kind of expected a question like this to come. I just didn't know when through the show it was gonna happen. But
Right
but but
away.
I know him all too well. Listen, man, like it don't bother me as much because from what I know, um, listen, a lot of fans could say whatever they want about the Giants, but they gave it their best to try to sign the man. They gave it their best, and it didn't work out. Obviously, to him, winning was more important, like every other player, right? So, to see him go out there and win with the Eagles, I mean, I ain't like to see him win in the Eagle uniform, but as a Giant fan, a man who wanted the Giants to draft him and watched him grow to the player he became now, I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him. I'm happy that he was able to win a championship. I wish it would have been with us, but you know, it just goes to show you got to have the right pieces in place in order for you to win a Super Bowl. And to be honest with you, you know, the missing piece, the missing piece to the Philadelphia Eagles was a New York Giant. So
You
I
did
could
say
go
that
out.
before. I remember you said
I
that.
could go out with a bang, knowing that a New York Giant help you win that Super Bowl because without Saquon Barkley, y'all don't have a chance.
So New York had to see. New York is going to take their credit one way or the other. Salute
That's
to you,
right.
Kev, on that because I was like, yo, New York is going to find a way to make it about New York, even
Yo,
though
listen, man.
Saquon went to Philly and won. But LP, how did it feel for you watching Saquon hold that trophy the whole season? How did it feel watching him help Philly the entire season and get
Man,
to the Super Bowl and win?
yo, I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree with my man Kev, man, because being a New York Giants fan from 89, 90 when we beat the Buffalo Bills in that Super Bowl as a kid growing up, we drafted him from Penn State. And to
Stop.
be honest, the Giants, the Mara family, which is the ownership of the Giants, uh, I don't know what they're running over there, but they didn't do because to be honest with you, Barkley did not want to leave, and they didn't do their best to keep him, and they chose clown ass Daniel Jones over Barkley. That's what happened. They chose Jones over Barkley, and that sealed the Giants' fate. And then that's why he didn't stay with the Giants. They didn't do enough to keep him. And then better yet, you're gonna let him go to the division rival? You don't do that, man. Come on, man. make him go to the West Coast or something like that. There's no way he should have went to the division rival, but yet they let that happen. And then, but as a fan of Barkley, I'm glad that he won it. I just, like Kev said, I wish it wasn't in an Eagles uniform. Should have been in a Giants uniform. And I know, we're down, and this happens to NFL teams a lot. We won our Super Bowls with Eli, beat the Patriots twice. Teams go down, they get back up, they rebuild. But man, to let Barkley go for nothing though. They just let him go. Really, they didn't try. They gave him the franchise tag for the season before, but they didn't do no deal. He would have stayed there. But from a player standpoint, I'm glad he got a Super Bowl in his first year being there, by the way. So he didn't have to wait 2-3 years being with Philly. He come in there because next year he ain't gonna be motivated. I don't think. Like he'll still play good. He was on a tear this year because he was playing motivated football, but I don't think he'll be as motivated and running for all those yards next year because now he's solidified. He got his Super Bowl. He's good to go. But nah, man, I'm not good with none of that. To be honest with you, I'm not good with none of that. As a New York Giants fan, I'm not good with none of that. They didn't try as they could have to keep him. They just let him go for nothing. They just let him go. You don't do that.
So I get that. So you think he gonna let his foot off the gas pedal a little now? Cousin Noom sitting out of the building. What's good, cousin? My cousin just stepped in the building. Also a New York native. And I was just asking the guys before you came in. I know you're a Jets fan. These guys are Giants fans. So being that you're a Jets fan, I'm gonna ask you this question. You saw their best player, the Giants' best player, Saquon Barkley, flip and go to Philly. And then watched Philly have so much success with him. The Giants fans are saying how it made them feel watching it. Kev said he was proud of him. LP said he hated seeing it. So you, as a Jets fan, how would that make you feel if your best team went to like your rival, like the New England Patriots, and then helped the Patriots win a championship?
I mean,
would you be proud of them?
We had Revis, remember?
Yeah, Revis. Yeah, that's right. Okay, I'm sorry.
Revis
Forgive me.
left and went to the whack Patriots.
How did that feel watching him win a Super Bowl with them?
That hurt my feelings. I might have shed a tear. I
remember that.
But to go on to follow on what he was saying, like I agree. Like to see him go out there and the Giants weren't doing that great. And he's a great player. So he needed to be somewhere and he deserves a ring. I was happy to see him, even though I really don't like the Giants.
Of course not. The Jets and the Giants, which I don't understand. Like y'all got two teams in the same town but can't stand each other.
You gotta pick one.
I mean, but no, it's deeper than that. It's because my brother's a Giants fan. So
yeah, you got the Bills too.
That's right.
The Bills of West New York, though. Bills of West New York.
Not the same.
And then the Giants and Jets.
Y'all don't want to claim Buffalo.
Nah, man, Buffalo ain't New York, man. You know that. I mean,
They should. Y'all should. They the only ones holding out down up there.
Really? They the best team in New York, to be honest with you.
Come on,
man. For right now, they are. For right now. That don't mean it's stay like that.
Buffalo could say, and the Jets, we beat Buffalo in the Super Bowl, right? And then we had to do the salsa on the Jets because Cromartie and Revis forgot who Victor Cruz was. So
that's right.
That's the problem that I have there. Like people always, with the Giants, but we the only team in New York to bring championships to this city. And I think a lot of people don't like that, especially the last two. The last two Super Bowls to me were the greatest two Super Bowls in NFL history, if you ask me. And I'm sorry that hurts your heart, but it is what it is.
It doesn't hurt my heart.
Hey, we got that Manning Super Bowls,
and we got four Super Bowls and then for all those years since the Giants shared a stadium with the Jets. For years, it used to be called Giant Stadium. So that's funny. So the Jets would have to come in there knowing that the whole stadium is called Giant
Stop it,
Stadium.
LP. All right,
No,
that's all
and
right.
let's
Yeah.
not forget one thing though. Let's not forget one thing
They
about the
coming for
Jets
you.
though. Remember that game? Remember that game, the Jets. And this, I didn't really have a problem with the Jets. I actually liked Rex Ryan and the way he changed that whole. The thing that had me like with Rex Ryan, when you covered it, you disrespected our Super Bowls, man. Like, you don't put a black blanket over our Super Bowls like it was nothing. So I
Yeah.
think that when he did that, he kind of like stirred up a pot in New York, and
did.
it's been like that ever since.
Yeah. No,
That's
you're
true.
absolutely right. It kind of stirred up some drama. Well,
Yeah.
one thing that New Yorkers can agree on is that the New York Knicks have been having a good season this year. Now,
Yeah,
see,
for
now to
sure.
see all of y'all smile. Look at them all. Now, all of a sudden, everybody, like, y'all get along, y'all agree on that.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. Hold on one
Jets,
second.
you know.
All right, man.
But real seriously, and everybody knows, I'm a Heat fan forever, and I
Hello?
give the Knicks every chance I get. I'm going to talk my ish about the Knicks. But when the Knicks are playing good, I gotta see TZ. I gotta keep it because TZ. I've been dogging the Knicks since we've been doing this show. Like every
I got a love-hate relationship with the Knicks because every time like I bet on them, they don't do nothing. And then when I bet on them, they lose.
Hey, you ain't the
Man.
only one. I've been
Like,
doing
what?
this since the '90s, bro. Betting on the Knicks.
Y'all beat the good team there on a night of a back-to-back. Y'all lose to the Wizards or something. Like what?
it's so
Oh
crazy.
no, we ain't lost to the Wizards
Right.
at all this year. We ain't
No,
lost to them.
no,
That's
I'm
not
not
saying,
this
like,
year,
in
the
terms of
Wizards.
the bottom tier teams, like y'all beat the good teams and then y'all lose to the bad teams.
And we gonna get into that. So
Like where is the
Knicks, like I
consistency
said, the
with
Knicks
y'all?
have,
That's my question. Y'all consistency is better
when
than
y'all
last.
do
It's better this year than last year for sure. But
when y'all play bad, I remind y'all that y'all play bad. So now that y'all have been having a good season and playing well, I decided, yours truly, Brother Numsi, to do a whole show dedicated to giving the New York Knicks in New York their props and their flowers. See? So this
Wow.
is the Time Zone cares. The sports
I don't know about last night though.
Them
Them boys was packing early last night.
Yeah,
Listen,
I
listen,
was
listen,
there.
not too much.
Hey, we gonna get into that. Hey,
Shout out to
hey,
shout out
Yeah,
to
it
all
wasn't
the
a
New
good-
Yorkers that be
Wasn't
in
a
my
good look
inbox.
last night.
Because New Yorkers be in my inbox and they be like, "Yo, you be hating on us, son." So this is for all of y'all. The whole I wanna. This is for everybody and from New York. But let's get into it. So this season, there's been a lot. And I have been watching y'all play. So can't discredit my pain. I have been watching y'all play. Y'all been looking good. Y'all been turning it up this year. Now that we're going into the second half of the season. And I'm going to start off with ladies first, cousin Numsi, and even TZ. I want you to get in on this one too. What do y'all see from what you've seen so far is your three biggest strengths that you've seen in your team this year? And we'll start with cousin Numsi on that. What do you see so far is your three biggest strengths? And then what are some of the weaknesses that y'all need to work on?
One of the things that I can say is like our handles. I don't want us to depend so much. Well, we really don't depend so much on Jalen. But I feel like this season it seems like the team is more gelled together. Everybody's on there trying to get up there. Like being third in the conference right now is pretty hype because last year and the year before that, I mean, we were trying to reach up there. It was a good, I don't know. Last year for me, it was kind of like I had to keep my head low a little bit. But this season,
y'all went through it in the last year. Y'all were going through it, but you got into the playoffs. You were a playoff team last year. So
that's true, but we weren't playing like a playoff team. I mean, this year, and then everybody was talking about like Cat, and to be real, I thought he was going to be a little soft. I didn't know if he can handle being in New York, but he shut me up because he's been doing his thing this year.
A lot of y'all said that. A lot of y'all said that Carl Anthony wasn't New York material. Some of y'all, I ain't gonna say no names. Some of y'all, but when he got traded there, y'all wasn't too happy about the trade. Like it was like I ain't gonna say no names.
I tell you right now, I was one of them.
And see,
You can say my name if you can.
and see,
You can say my name. I'm okay with it.
and see,
but
and I wasn't one of them because I knew eventually Randall was gonna have to go, and that was perfect. That was the perfect time while Randall's stock was high. That was the
But
way
that's
to
the
do it.
thing. Like, why were we so upset when Randall left? I thought it was a good thing for him to go.
Me too.
Because
Me too. I agree.
right.
I mean, to me,
So-
to be honest with you, like, with Julius Randle and Dante, Dante gave us a lot last year. Especially, he started off the bench, and then he took that spot from Grimes, and then just completely elevated into something else. Like, I don't know who this Dante was. I ain't never seen this kind of Dante before. And then once we made the trade and we started watching him in January before Julius got hurt, it was like, yo, this if this is what we're gonna get, this is great. And then once he got hurt, it was like, all right, I guess we wait until what happens after the season is over. And people were looking forward to see what he was gonna come healthy, to see what he was gonna do before that trade happened. I just wanted to see how that was gonna work with Mikal and OG, and then Julius Randle and Dante. I wanted to see how that was gonna work out. Just watching the Villanova 4 on the same team would have been nice to see too. But as far as Cat, to me it was never what kind of player he was. I never questioned his ability to play the game. We all knew he was a great player. My thing was his beef back in the day with Tibbs. Was that going to be a problem? Because we all know how that was in Minnesota. Was that gonna come and destroy what we got built right now? Because Tibbs turned his franchise around. I don't care what nobody say.
He did.
and we got
He did.
and I got a little piece on Tibbs too that we're gonna get into. But real quick, and then I'm gonna let you guys take back off on this, and
Right.
TZ, you can jump in whenever you want on this. But my three strengths that I see from just the outside looking in. Number one, y'all got a top 3 point guard in the Eastern Conference in Jalen Brunson. He's definitely a top 3. I ain't gonna say he's number 1, but he's a top 3. He's up there. I say Dame. Then you got Jalen, and I like Darius Garland. No particular order, but those are my particular 3. So he's one of those. Number 2, y'all got multiple high-level 3 and D guys that can shoot it and defend. A la OG Anunoby, a la Mikal Bridges. Y'all got multiple guys like that. And in this league, you need those kind of guys who can shoot it and they can defend. And then number 3, you got a Hall of Fame potential coach. You got Thibs. Like, say what y'all want about, Thibs, and, there's a flip side to Thibs too. But when we talk about your weaknesses, you'll notice that I got Thibs on that side too. He's a strength and he's a weakness for y'all. But his strength is that he's experienced. He's gotten teams to the Eastern Conference Finals multiple times. I mean, he's shown that he can coach. He's a winner. But, those are the 3 things that I've seen so far. TZ, what have you noticed about the Knicks this year that you've seen that is their biggest strengths or their biggest weapons working for them?
I think they got some more shooting around them. Typically last year they ain't having much shooting. They got rid of DiVincenzo. I feel like Cat being there kind of opens the floor for him some more with Brunson. You got Bridges and Anunoby, so I'll give them shooting. They got some more shooting. I like to pick and roll with Brunson and Cat. Kind of gives Brunson some more options off the pick and roll. And I'll say their defense as well. They play better defense now.
Yeah, like our ball handling is a lot better this season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, LP.
My bad. Go ahead. LP.
Oh no, you good. Either one. I wanted your top 3 strengths that you guys see. LP and then Kev, y'all could jump in back to back. Go ahead.
So you want me to go? Brother New?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So you said top 3 strengths, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Man, top three strengths. I'm saying one is the starting lineup because I think we got the best starting lineup in the league. Um, that would be one.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Listen,
We'll
listen,
get to that
listen,
later.
listen.
I'm
He's
gonna let
talking
you
from
go.
a
My
Knicks.
bad.
He's talking
You
from a
just
Knicks fan. Go ahead.
that
yeah,
sounds
yeah.
good.
No,
The
no, I
best
do. I
starting
think
lineup
we.
in
I
the
mean, I
league,
know. I
though.
know. Tibbs plays a lot of minutes and all that. Everybody's always Tibbs. But hey, man, these are
But go
conditioned
ahead. All right.
NBA. Yeah, these are conditioned NBA players, man. As far as I'm concerned, so hey, you get paid good money. You should be able to play these minutes. You should be in shape. That's your job, is to be in shape so you can be on the court. So I think we got this. Even the NBA insiders say the Knicks got the probably the best starting lineup. So I'll say that's our number one strength. Number two is the wings. What somebody alluded to earlier with the 3 and D, OG
Mhm.
and Bridges. Now
Right.
everybody was been on Bridges and stuff like that, but he's came along when when there's tough games or games on the line, like the other night against the Bulls. He got that key block shot. That was going to be a layup right there, pretty much, and the game would have been over at the Garden. But he said, I mean, and he was undersized. He got that block, and we all know. I think what the Knicks were 26-5 last year when OG was in the game from that trade. 26-5, and even this year when he's in the game or playing, I have to go and see what the record is. But OG is definitely uh, uh he's different, definitely a difference maker. So I'll say our forwards, that's our second strength. And then the
Okay.
third strength I would say would be man, the third strength, that's a tough one. I say the starting lineup and the wings. And our third strength would be
I mean, if you
man,
only have two, if you only have two strengths and you want to go with those two, then that's fine. I mean, that's plenty. Because
yeah,
having if you feel like y'all got the best starting five in the league, and then you feel like y'all got the perfect complement of 3 and D guys, that might just be just enough for you. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
'Cause then I guess I'll say the third strength is like you said, we got the top point guard, one of the top point guards in the league. I mean, absolutely. I mean, everybody was doubting Jalen when the Knicks made that sign. When they signed him from Dallas, like, oh man, they're overpaying, the Knicks overpaying, and we saw value in him. We saw. I mean, you can see what he did in Dallas and those, when Luka was out and how he was elevating Dallas over Utah and over a Donovan Mitchell team. So we saw the value in him. So no, I say we got the, like you
okay,
said, top one of the top point guards in the league. He's
okay,
consistent. If he has a bad game, he don't have two bad games in a row. He never does. So if he does have one bad game, he comes back the next night and then he gets it done. The captain comes through. So top point
okay.
guard, the top forwards, 3 and D guys, and the best starting five.
Careful,
That's my
guys.
top
Be
All
strength.
right,
careful. Be careful. Be
good
careful.
stuff. Yeah, and Q, I want you to hold on to that clip because I
Be
want you to
careful. Be
run that
careful.
when we talk about some of the Knicks' weaknesses. But I'm going to let Kev finish us out. So, Kev, in this last little piece of this segment, what do you see as the strengths for the
Well,
Knicks?
a lot of y'all said, it's just I'm gonna just repeat the same thing y'all said. So I'm gonna go with the weaknesses if that's okay with you.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Let's start off. What do
Yeah,
you see
yeah,
as the
cause
weaknesses?
cause yeah,
Let's get to it.
to
Now,
me,
Q, you can run that slaughtering from last night.
the weaknesses is definitely the defense. The perimeter defense, that's a big weakness.
Mm,
Opposing teams, I think they shooting like 36% from the line this year on us. And last night, especially against like Boston, I think if I'm not mistaken, both games they killed us from behind the arc.
mhm,
Last night the Cavs killed us from behind the arcs. Um, I think a lot of that. I think a lot of that is a big weakness. I think our health is also another weakness. We still
mhm.
haven't had we. You cannot face the top three contending teams with main guys out. You can't. It's
Exactly.
impossible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We've had no Mitch all season long. He's pretty much our best paint protector, our best rebounder on both sides of the floor. And he does guard the perimeter pretty well. We missed OG in the game against Boston. In this last game against the Cavs, we missed Josh Hart, who's a big part of our team who does all the dirty work is Josh Hart.
And
So
that's a big that's big for you guys though, because
yeah,
you know the fact that y'all ain't that deep, you know, and I was going to say this is one of the weaknesses for you guys is that because you're not that deep, you can't sustain any injuries like at all. Like y'all can't afford to have nobody out against none of the elite teams. Like because against Boston or Milwaukee or Cleveland, you got to be at full strength to beat these teams. Y'all can't afford to miss a Josh Hart or a Mitch Robinson or y'all, and God forbid Jalen Brunson. Then the whole train gets wrecked.
That was a big argument me and my brother was having last night because I was trying to explain to him, you know, you may think Mitchell Robinson is washed, but he brings a lot to the table. You know what I mean? He's still a good player. So guys, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
Nah, you good. Cousin Noopsy, what are some of the things that you think y'all need to work on or improve on, especially after watching that slaughtering that y'all took last night?
Our defense.
Your defense.
I mean, listen, watch your words with the slaughtering and all of that. Very sensitive to me.
I love that.
Tell him, cousin Noopsy. Tell him, cousin Noopsy. Tell him.
You say he don't know what to call it.
Yeah, that's how you tell him, cousin Noopsy. That's how you tell him.
I'm really eating crow right now because I talked major trash yesterday about this game. Even though like their standings are way better than ours, I was kind of like, "No, we got this." No, we got our butts spanked last night. Yeah, just keep it a buck. I don't think
y'all got the bill
142 to 105, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, like come on, like
I didn't even know that was the final score.
If I can be honest,
crazy.
I already like probably by the half. I already was like, "Nah, this is
wow.
This is it for us."
Yeah. Nah, that's being realistic though. That's being realistic, yeah.
Listen, but you know, honestly speaking, every time we face one of these teams, we have players out. We have not been able to face these teams fully healthy. Nobody talks about that because it's the Knicks. Our injuries don't matter.
but
some of them games y'all don't need Josh Hart. Like some of these games y'all don't need.
Josh Hart, you do need Josh Hart.
Right.
You do.
Josh Hart
he played great.
You
defense.
need Josh Hart, bro. He played.
Now Josh Hart is he's like a better version of Draymond Green for us.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you what Josh Hart is. I'm gonna tell you what. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He is like Magneto. He picks his hands up and the ball comes to him, bro. All right, that man is he is like a vacuum.
He ain't got a defensive player of the year. Draymond, defensive player of the year.
Draymond cannot run the floor like Josh Hart can, bro.
Nah, he can't. He can't. Nah, Josh Hart is better than Draymond though. Especially at this point of Draymond's career, Josh Hart is definitely better than Draymond.
He ain't got better IQ.
And can I say something? And can I say one other?
Let me get this real piece. I'm gonna let you go, Kev. But real quick, that's part of what I'm saying is that yes, everybody, you guys are banged up, but you don't have the kind of team that can sustain anyone being banged up. Like I've seen games. I've watched Cleveland play without their center Allen or without Darius Garland, and they've got enough depth to where they can still keep it afloat a little bit. Y'all, you miss one piece, and there is nothing that can keep y'all afloat. That's what I'm saying is the difference between you guys not having that depth and other teams like the Celtics and the Cavs having much more depth than you guys. They can sustain a thing here. They can sustain. Y'all can't sustain anything.
No, I agree with you.
Part of that is because they play 45 minutes a game.
There you go, Q. Exactly. There you go.
So if all your starters playing the full time, then you're going to down the line playing 86 games, you're going to get some injuries.
That's last year. TZ Dave did a tracking of how many minutes Jalen Brunson played just in the first round of the playoffs alone.
I remember that.
It kills me with the minute police, though. It kills me with the minute police, right? Because a lot of these star players, I went back, right? All the Shaquille O'Neals, all Kenny Smiths, and all these guys that talk about the minute police, bro. Y'all done played 7-8 seasons in a row, playing 38, 40 minutes a year. How is this possible? Now all of a sudden minutes is a problem. These guys a lot of these guys don't even care about minutes. They just want to play and help this team win.
Right.
Right.
But
That's
they
it,
don't.
bro.
But they still
They
running
just
themselves
ball.
They
down.
are depth. A lot of these teams that ain't got no
Bro.
players.
Well, if you're a true competitor, that's what I was saying earlier. If you're a true competitor, you're getting paid good money, your body's conditioned. There shouldn't be no whining about the minutes. Like the
Right.
Nick players, they never complain. They and this is what I said before on another podcast that you had. We were talking about the minutes, and I've said this before. Thibodeau's always said, "Yo, if you want to come out, we'll take you out." So it's ain't like nobody's making these guys. They're competitors. They're trying to win.
Come on, LP. Dude, what guy you think is going to be in the middle of a playoff game and be like, they know they gas. They know they ain't got nothing left in the tank, but going to be like, take me out, coach. Ain't nobody, not a bomber clad players that do nothing like that, dog. You know good and well, ain't nobody going to do that. And especially with a coach like Tibbs.
I know.
Yo, that's funny, right?
You're right. Nobody's gonna do that. You're
Look
right.
at this. And Miami LeBron played almost 38 minutes a game. In he played 38 minutes a game his first season, 37 and a half his second season, 38 his third season, and you could say 38 his fourth season in Miami. Is that running LeBron James to the ground?
He's different, yo.
Jalen Brunson was playing 45 minutes a game last year in the whole first round series, man. 45. Like, I got the law.
And look at how well he. And listen, you can say whatever you want. You can say whatever you want, though. That man balled out, playing 45 minutes a game.
He did. He came to play.
But he ran out of gas, though.
He didn't run
out of gas.
He did not run out of gas.
I would like for somebody to run the minutes on like the 94 Knicks or the 97 Knicks and see how long they've been in the game.
I'm gonna have to go back and that's a good question.
That's true. Like, Pat Riley, when he coached that team.
I mean, because you think about players like Oakley or Mason.
That's a good question, Cousin Noopsy. No, that's a good question, Cousin Noopsy. I'm gonna have to go back and look at that because that's the era I definitely grew up in, that 94, 93 Knicks.
Listen, cousin, these guys are not as durable as they were back then.
5, 6, right? 7 seasons. Patrick Ewing played 37 minutes plus minutes a game. Patrick Ewing.
They were different.
And
they were different.
Okay, and 1, 2, 3 seasons in a row, he averaged 38 minutes a game, and he was washing people up.
So here's my point.
That's a different era. They were more durable in that era. This era, they not.
Well, and see, that was the era where guys actually played 82 games too in those 90s.
Exactly. They don't play that many games now.
There wasn't no game management or no player management. You know, the San Antonio Spurs started all that with Pop, with that whole sick guys out, and
they're just not as durable as they used to be. That's just plain and simple. They just not as durable, so they can't last like they did back then.
I don't know if it's just the player. Or if it's just how the game is played now. Like, because basketball got soft.
How the game is played.
Mm-hmm. I think
it's a lot of shooting. So it's a lot of running back and forth versus back in the day, it was offense, set the offense, half court. Now it's back and forth. So your durability is going to be different now.
That's true.
It also depends on the team.
Back forward.
Certain teams as well. Because certain teams play slower and, you know what I'm saying, they really want to slow the pace down and try to be more safe.
I mean, then you're in the era of the ball hog too. So that's true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the era of the ball hog, I said Coach Tibbs was one of your strengths as a Knicks coach because of the experience that he has, because of how far he's gotten into the playoffs and all of that. But on the flip side, I also think having him as your coach is a part of your weakness, is one of your weaknesses, because Coach Tibbs is extremely stubborn. He's one of the most stubborn coaches in the whole league as far as I'm gonna do it my way. I don't care about how they doing it right now. I'm gonna keep doing it my way, my way, my way. He's kind of like Spo is like that. It come from that Pat Riley tree of coaches that are like that. But with all of that and that mentality and the way that he goes at it, as much success as he's had, he's never coached a team to the finals. He's never coached a team to the finals. He's always had that glass ceiling of the conference finals. Like he'll get there. He might get you a game or two in the conference finals. But he's been out-coached by, as I mentioned, Spo. He's been out-coached by Frank Vogel. When Doc was coaching the Celtics, he got out-coached by Doc. He got out-coached by some of the most elite, he got coached by some of the best to the most mediocre of coaches in the playoffs. So do any of y'all see Coach Tibbs at all as a weakness, or what do y'all think? And I want TZ also when y'all done, because TZ is the captain of Deuce's coach. So I want his grade on Coach Thibodeau as a coach after you guys tell me what y'all feel about Coach Thibodeau being a weakness.
TD Davis gonna go first. TD Davis gonna go first.
Go last. He gonna go last. LP, you can start it off, and then go cousin Noomsy, and then after Noomsy we go into Kev.
Okay, so what do I think about Coach Tibbs? That's the question, right?
Yeah, as a coach. Yeah, what do you think about his coaching? Do you think he's helping or hurting y'all?
Man, this is the thing, and I've said this all along, man. I love Coach Tibbs, man, because it's a certain identity that you gotta have to be a coach of New York City, the New York Knicks, and you gotta embrace and you gotta embody New York City. He understands the whole wave about how it runs to be a coach in New York City, to run the Knicks, and he got that grit, that New York grit that people in the city can identify with. You know, that no nonsense type attitude, and I like that, man. So he is a coach from the past, kind of from the 80s, but he has adapted to the new age too with some of these assistant coaches. So stuff that he wouldn't normally do, he's doing now. So I like Coach Tibbs. And my question to everybody is, when everybody whines about Tibbs, who else is better to get? I like to know. Somebody need to tell me, if not Tibbs, what coach is out there that was better than Tibbs? Because when I ask that question, no one can answer it. So to me, if everyone whines and cries about Tibbs, so if not Tibbs, who is out there that you could replace Tibbs with that would be better? Now, I know people are going to say Mark Jackson, and I like Mark Jackson. He's a fellow New Yorker. I like he's from Queens. That's my dude. St. John's, all of that. But the thing is, Mark Jackson kind of had his time to possibly had took the Knicks job, and it kind of passed him by. So that wave kind of went. I like Mark Jackson. So maybe besides him, that might be the only guy maybe you can put in there instead of Tibbs. But I like Tibbs, man, because he understands, he embodies what New York City's about. And he's just that old school mindset coach. And I just like him, man. To me, if not Tibbs, who else is better? And that's the only guy that I would accept somebody to say is Mark Jackson. But other than that, there's nobody else. That's my
word. Exactly. I was going to say the very same thing. What we were talking about earlier. It seems like he has that mentality. Like, to be in New York, you got to be like that gritty. That's why I said check the minutes on the old school Knicks. Like, if you see it, the system stayed the same. Like, it was always about that. Shut up and go play the ball. Like, that's it. You're gonna be in the game or what? What are you here for?
Mm-hmm. And then cousin Noopsy.
Also, if it was gonna be, if not Tibbs, I was thinking Mark Jackson too. But I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I think Tibbs has a little bit over Mark Jackson a little bit.
Yeah. And then I want to add.
Cousin Noopsy coaching and Mark Jackson ain't coached in years. You know what I'm saying?
And cousin Noopsy, you're right, cousin Noopsy. I just want to add to what the point you said, cousin Noopsy, that also people forget Tibbs was assistant coach on that 99 Knicks team that went to the finals with Allen Houston. He was on that coaching staff with Jeff Van Gundy. People forget that. So he was part of that late 90s Knicks squad. So that's what I'm saying. He's been part of that whole New York tree for years now. Now it's just that he's the head coach of the Knicks now. And this is his dream job. Right. He stated that. He grew up in Connecticut.
There's that insight. When you're working with Van Gundy took us a distance. And so you have like that experience. So it's like, okay, I know what it takes to get this team where they have to go. It's a different to play in New York is it's different from any other team in the league. I'm just, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Because the
So
you're right. And when the Knicks are playing good, the NBA is better. I want to state that. When the Knicks are playing good, the whole league is better. Even the NBA insiders say that. When the Knicks are relevant, the league is better. We get TV views. People watch the Knicks. We got probably the best fan base in the league. We travel all over.
Word. Everywhere.
All of that right now.
And you know that, A, because you know that, A, because Miami, that's our second home. That's where all the New Yorkers go live, is in Miami. You know that. That's our second home.
Stop it. Y'all keep talking all that New York and the league is better and all your agenda. People gonna start looking closely at those games in the CEO. These referees already under investigation. So
Atlanta's our second home, and Miami's our second home, and Orlando's our second home, and Charlotte. All of those places is MSG South. All those places is MSG South.
You forgot one place, LP, and that's Philadelphia.
Oh, that too. There too. Philly also.
What do you think of Coach Tibbs? I didn't get your piece on Coach Tibbs, Kev.
Nah, listen, I'm a big fan of Tibbs. You know, for what he's done to this organization. The only gripe I have with Tibbs is you know, not playing our young players. That's about it. You know, honestly. You know, I think we got some young
mentality. He's stubborn. I told you.
Yeah, like real stubborn. Like he's giving our young kids that Deuce McBride treatment from last year. So that's the only thing. That's my only gripe with Tibbs. You know, just we got some young pieces on the bench that I think could help us. They got fresh legs. They that's the only thing I have with Tibbs, man. Just play the young guys. That's all.
But you know, Kev, I don't like that French cat that we got, though, man. I think the Knicks just picked him because that was the only guy to pick in the draft. I mean, he's all right, but you're right. He doesn't play the young guys. But like you said, for years, Deuce wasn't getting played, and he kind of had to earn Tibbs' respect. And then, and then Sims, they traded Sims, and then he started playing Sims. But you're right. I mean, you know, I guess he's old. But see, that's where the assistant coaches come into play, because Tibbs may think like that, but the assistant coaches kind of talk to Tibbs, and that's how some of those younger cats have got in, based on what the assistant coaches add on to Tibbs. So I would say that.
It definitely takes balance.
Right.
We're going to transition a little bit from that. So now that we kind of talked about what are some of the strengths and the weaknesses for the New York Knicks, next, there was a lot of changes that happened in this offseason. A lot of changes. What do y'all think, or what would you say was the biggest acquisition y'all made in the offseason? Was it Cat? Was it Bridges? Was it somebody else? Who do y'all think it was? And I'll start with Kev. Kev, you started off, and then you pass it on to TZ. I want to hear what TZ got to say too on that.
You know, I feel like the to me the best trade since Leon Rose, I think it was Josh Hart, really. Since training for Josh Hart, we 90-51. 90-51 since we traded for Josh Hart. I think that, and it was the steal. It was a crazy steal. All we had to do was give up Cam Reddish, I think, in a Cam Reddish, Ryan,
and a second round pick.
And I think it was it a second round pick or a draft
it
consideration? Was one of those.
Second round pick,
I think
Kev,
to me, the biggest was Josh Hart, low key.
Josh Hart, that's huge. All right, TZ. Looking from the outside, looking in, TZ, who do you think was the Knicks' biggest acquisition that they picked up?
I'm gonna say it was Jalen Brunson, because without Jalen Brunson, the Knicks wouldn't be where they at.
Yeah.
Who would be the point guard for the Knicks right now with no Jalen Brunson?
Yeah,
good question. That's a good question. I don't know who it would be.
That kind of lifted the whole New York franchise in a way, because y'all didn't have nobody. So like, now y'all get Jalen Brunson, y'all advancing, y'all getting to the playoffs, and he's kind of drawing y'all like more pieces. Like, he probably the reason y'all got Cat probably on that type of time, just to, you know what I'm saying, elevate the team. So I feel like Jalen Brunson is
Well,
probably the biggest part.
That's a good point. That's a good
I
point.
think the reason why we got Cat was Leon Rose, really. And his ties with, you know, Carl Anthony Towns.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the real reason
Yeah.
why.
Because,
Cat was
Leon,
Had a part.
But I do agree, Jalen Brunson. I do agree with I do agree with you, Dave. Though Jalen Brunson is a huge pickup, huge
Mhm.
pickup.
oh, no
Yeah, he
question.
was huge acquisition. So I'm with you on that one, TZ. LP, who
Mhm.
would you point to
Yeah,
and say was the biggest acquisition in your opinion?
Yeah, yo, I got to go with TZ on that, man. Of course, it's obvious, man. Like you said, it's Jalen Brunson, man. He changed the franchise. I mean, point guard is like equivalent to the quarterback in the NFL, right? So that's the leader on the court. That's the extension of the coach. So, and he's all of that. And being that Tibbs is known Jalen Brunson literally from a kid when his dad, forgot his dad's first name, was
Rick
playing in the
Brunson.
Mark. What is it again? What's his dad?
Rick Brunson.
Rick Brunson,
Yeah,
Rick Brunson.
yeah, Rick Brunson. When Rick was playing, and he's seeing Jalen as a kid grow up, playing the high school ranks. I mean, it's just a match made in heaven, man. Like he knew Brunson from a kid, and for him to go to Villanova, win 2 national championships, and the success he had in Dallas, and then boom. And for Dallas to just let him go, kind of like how the Giants let Barkley go, that's how Dallas did. They just let him go for nothing. And then we were fortunate to get him. Yeah, man, by the day, because when Randall was there, Randall wasn't changing the franchise. Let's just be real. Randall was playing hard, getting you your 20 and 10, but he wasn't changing the franchise. When
That's
Brunson
not
got
true.
there, he
That's
he
not true.
he well, I mean, he changed it some, Kev, but not to the way that Jalen Brunson did, man. Like Jalen Brunson just really significantly put a stamp on the Knicks and changed it. So I got to go TZ on that. It's obvious, man. Brunson was the best acquisition. They said since probably since Carmelo, man. To be honest with you, that the Knicks have gotten. That's probably the best acquisition that the Knicks have had since Carmelo. And
Dang,
even
Okay.
Mello?
So
Wow.
and then
cousin, so yeah, cousin.
Well,
So I'm going, and we'll get back to you in a second, LP. But I wanted cousin Noomsy to jump in on this
oh
too.
yeah,
So the question that
Yeah,
I
I mean,
asked
I
about,
agree. I
who are
agree.
you
It's
going with,
Brunson by
Jalen
far. That's a
Brunson?
given.
Are you saying Brunson over Josh Hart, over Cat, over Mikal
Yeah,
Bridges, over Ananobi,
that's not to
over?
say that, I don't appreciate what they brought to the team, but you think in a whole, it's gotta be Brunson. And then to touch on like Randall a little bit, like he did what he could for the team, and I appreciate him while he was a Knick. But it was like now that he's gone, do I miss him as much? No, I don't.
That's grimy.
I'm
But
just being
I get
real.
it though.
that's that nasty work.
Like y'all call it, yeah, y'all call it that nasty
I
work, man.
mean, listen, man. People gotta
Go ahead,
remember
Kev.
Julius Randle came here at a time when no one will. You can name
Right,
I
your
do remember.
favorite player. You
of
can name your
course.
favorite player ever at that time and moment. There was guys out there that could have came and turned this franchise around, and they would not come here.
That's
Right,
true.
So
That's true.
just to
right. That's what
get
I'm
him to
saying.
come
Like
here, right?
I'm saying, like that's not to say I didn't appreciate and I don't appreciate what he's done for the franchise, of course. But now that he's
Hmm.
not a Nick anymore, now that he's not here, like do I miss him here? Can he even look? Can he even still fit in now?
Well, see, I agree
Wow.
with you, cousin. I agree with you, cousin Newsy. And to your point, Kev, you're right. Nobody. It kind of was like like when they got Julius Randle, because I remember that free agency, all the pieces. That's the thing, and that goes back to what I was saying with Tibbs. Everybody is scared to come to New York. They love playing here as a visitor. Like LeBron always says, "Oh man, I love New York. This is the best place to play MSG." But he's scared to play there as a player, 41 games a season, because he understands what's going to be expected if you're a New York Knick playing in that New York Madison Square Garden arena every night. He didn't never want to come as a player. So all those free agents, I just think with Julius Randle, that was the guy at that time when free agency was going. Because I have to go and look who was a free agent, but all those guys just they like you said, Kev, they could have came to New York. They were scared to come to New York. Randall was just kind of one of those guys that was left because that wasn't one of the targets that the Knicks wanted in that free agency. I think they wanted somebody else. It was just like Randall was kind of like, he's just like that third option for that time. And then they just picked him up. But that's not who they originally wanted, though. It's just almost like back with the KD and Kyrie Irving. They were supposed to come to the Knicks, not to the Nets. They were supposed to come to the Knicks, not the Nets. They did a beeline right at the end and went to Brooklyn, but they were supposed to come to the Knicks.
Kind of salty about that.
I remember that story. It was KD, right? I think KD was trying to go to New York and recruit Kyrie, and then
you go, DZ. There you go, TZ.
It was Kyrie idea to go to Brooklyn.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm kind of glad we didn't go that route because the Brooklyn Nets had to give him free money just for him to sign with them.
Right.
So I'm glad we didn't go that route. I'm glad we didn't go that route.
I'm glad too.
Let's not forget. Let's not forget that Julius Randle was there when we were trying to convince Jalen Brunson to come here. Remember, Julius Randle was at that whole went with our front office to Dallas to watch that game and try to convince Jalen Brunson to sign with the Knicks. So, a lot of Knicks fans are still mad at Julius Randle for what he did this to them when he gave them the thumbs down.
Oh yeah,
because that was corny on Randall to do that, and that shows that, and see that's what I mean.
No. They was not. He was not corny because just a year prior, Knicks fans was praising this man for winning 41 games and even taking us to the players for the first time in 13 years. And then the following year, because the front office made bad decisions in signing Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier, they all threw that on Julius Randle every time we lost a game.
They did,
that was the biggest problem.
But hey, Kev, but I agree with that. But Kev, but that's what I mean about having that New York state of mind, and that's something that Randall didn't have, man. You gotta be able to just that, man. You gotta.
Sometimes as a player, you gotta tell the fans. You know why? Because at the end of the day, you gotta understand, right? A guy comes to New York who tries to come and help. I understand you, the man, right? I understand. Eli Manning was the man in New York. Won 2 Super Bowls, was a 2-time Super Bowl MVP, and guess what Giants fans did? Destroy that man. It didn't matter. Giants fan destroyed him to this day, and then they mad because he don't want to sign their autographs. Oh, he's this and he's that. But y'all tortured this man and called him retarded for years.
But hey, Kev, that's New York City, though. That's just how it is.
I was just about to say
that's just what it is.
But this is what I'm saying. I understand that, but sometimes as a player, I'm not dealing with that, and I understood his frustration and why he did what he did. That's what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying, Kev. I just think as a grown man that was just real pouty and real whiny and real. You just don't do that on the court like that. Like you can feel however you. Yeah, you can feel
when it comes to the fan base. It's like for us, once a Knick, always a Knick, right?
Right.
And so when you leave and then you come back and you're with this, you're lucky you didn't get beer thrown at you. What are you talking about?
I mean, listen, from when I was doing the pod, and I'm only going through from what I understand, right? I'm doing my pod, and
we get in our feelings, and I understand, but that was corny.
No, it was.
Listen, I'm doing my pod, right? I had a fan come on my pod who was at the game, right?
Okay.
And there was fans screaming and disrespecting his wife while his kids was there, to the point where this man's family had to be escorted out of the arena because Knicks fans was mad because we just lost the game.
I heard about that.
And now we doing this to the star, and now we doing this, and now we doing this to the star players' family. Are we serious here?
Yeah, no, that's.
But now you know what I'm gonna say to that, Kev.
But listen, not everybody got to deal with that kind of frustration and disrespect, bro. You know what I'm saying?
No. No, I agree with you, Kev. I agree. I just think, to be honest, New York Knicks fans never really respected Randall like that, because let's say if that was Patrick Ewing, they wouldn't be doing his family like that or did that to Patrick
No,
Ewing. I just think with
Patrick Ewing.
Randall,
What? Patrick Ewing. They gave Patrick Ewing
They-
death
y'all
threats
destroyed.
for the
Yeah,
time
y'all
that we
destroyed.
death threats. I could bring up.
I remember that.
Yo, they
I
destroyed
remember that.
Patrick Ewing for
Yeah,
years,
y'all
bro.
destroyed him for
They
years.
did. They did. That's true.
Yeah.
I
I just
got a
don't think they
video.
were being
I
good.
got a video of Patrick Ewing. I'm sorry.
For that layup, y'all
Oh,
destroyed.
against the Pacers?
You good, Kev. And I want to actually see. You gotta message me that video. I want to see that
No,
video.
I feel you,
I'm
Kev.
gonna find that. I have it, bro.
But
he threw
what
that
I
game,
wanted
he
to
got
also say
desperate.
now, the Knicks team right now, the way they're constructed right now is looking like they're a top 4 team, in the East. So, well, my question is, and we getting close to the 1 hour mark, so I'm gonna go around the world real quick. Who do you guys think are going to be the last 4 teams standing in the East? Who are the 2 teams in the Eastern Conference Finals that y'all predict? And then who are the teams in the Western Conference Finals that y'all predict? I'm going to give y'all mine. Now, of course, my opinion is my opinion. Before y'all even start and all of that, this is my list. And then
I got you. Hey, I
give,
got you.
and then TZ Dave gonna give his list, and then we're gonna go around. But my top 4, I'm going with, on the Eastern Conference, the Boston Celtics. All right, I got Boston Celtics, and then my second team is I got the Cleveland Cavaliers. Yep, I know y'all don't think the Cavs is gonna do it, but in the West, I got Golden State Warriors. I do think Golden State is gonna do it, and then I got Minnesota. I still think, yeah, I do. I think Ant-Man this is his year that he's gonna stamp it, and he's gonna get back to the conference finals. So I like those 2 teams from each conference. TZ Dave, who do you like in the East, and who do you like in the West for the finals?
In the East, I got the Bucks and Boston.
Okay, Bucks in Boston.
In the
I
Eastern Conference
expected
Finals.
you to say the Bucks. I don't even know why I even asked you that.
In the
Those
Eastern
Those
Conference
Milwaukee
Finals.
Bucks. Those Milwaukee Bucks.
And then in the West, I have the Warriors and Denver.
Okay. We agree on that. See, Jimmy Butler gonna be the difference. I'm telling
Man,
you,
you know how I feel about
Warriors.
Warriors, man.
I'm gonna be rooting for Jimmy, and all the Heat fans are like, "Yo, how can you be rooting for Jimmy?" Because I stood with Jimmy through that whole Pat Riley situation. So now that Jimmy made his way to Golden State, and he got that contract that Pat wouldn't give him, and he's on a team that can win a championship or at least compete for one. So I'm going with Jimmy, and I'm going with
the
Warriors.
Jimmy was being lazy over there in Miami, though, brother Noopsy. That's why Pat said, "Nah, you ain't getting that money."
Stop it, LP. Who do you like, LP? Who is your final 4 teams, LP? Who are your final 4 teams? Who you like in the final?
Yo, brother Noopsy, don't let me get on Jimmy, because you know I'll clown Jimmy all day.
Yeah, I already know. I know. Me and you got to do a whole show just on Jimmy alone, because
man, I be sending my man, brother Noopsy, text messages. Oh man, that's another show. But I'll give you my 4 teams. I'll be realistic because I'm a realistic Knicks fan. I'm not unrealistic. I'm gonna have to agree with you on the Eastern teams at this point because of what I'm seeing. My Knicks we're just not good enough. We're not good enough to beat Boston or Cleveland. So I'm gonna have to go with those 2, and that's who we're behind right now. We've lost twice to both of those teams at home, on the road, and lost badly. And we got Boston tomorrow in Boston. I don't think we're going to beat Boston. I'm just being realistic. I would love for us to, but I'm just being a realistic Knicks fan. So I'm going to go with Boston and Cleveland for the East. Unfortunately, I wish the Knicks could be there, but I just don't think we're there yet. And then on the West, I got to go with the young OKC. I think they're going to be there. I mean, they got the best record in the league? Them or who? Is it them or Cleveland?
Yeah, the best record.
No, it's them.
Okay. Okay. And then OKC got the Knicks colors. By the way, they copy us. They got our colors. So I'm gonna pick OKC on the West, and then my second wild card team on the West that nobody thinks. I think it's gonna be Denver, man. I think TZ just said Denver. Yeah, he just said Denver.
I agree.
I think it's going to be OKC
So-
and Denver, man. I think the
Mhm.
way Russell Westbrook is playing now is
Mhm.
really making them a game changer, and he wasn't playing like that early on. But if he was, if he keeps his play like it's been, then yeah, I say Denver and OKC, and then Cleveland and Boston. Unfortunately, I hate to say that, but I'm just being realistic right now.
Okay, cool. Cousin, who do you got in the East? Is your top 2 Eastern and then top 2 West?
I'm going with my Knicks, yo. No, I'm kidding.
I should have known.
Oh, man. I thought, come
That is
on,
great.
man.
Yeah, yo.
Y'all ain't got no faith in your own team.
No, but you know
it's-
something? Honestly,
No more Knicks fan on the board.
I hate to say it, yo, because I hate this team. I hate the Boston Celtics with my
Me
whole
too.
being. You hear me?
Yeah.
My whole being. This
We
is
agree
this
on
is
that.
fine. Don't
As a
edit
Heat
this
fan,
out,
we
cousin.
definitely agree on that.
Don't edit
with
this
you.
one out. I hate the Boston Celtics.
We
I'm
all
with
do.
you.
But so are you
but
picking them?
I
Are
really
they one
feel
of your
like-
teams?
Huh?
Are the Celtics one of your top 2 teams in the East? Are you going the Knicks and the Celtics in the East?
I'm going with
Knicks and Celtics.
I mean,
okay.
I think the Cavs are up there too. I'm just trying to stay loyal to my squad.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So who-
Yes.
who you like?
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Cousin,
I
don't
get
see.
it. Okay.
Let's go,
All right,
cuz.
cousin.
Let's go,
So
cuz.
What about
I'm with
West
you,
Coast?
cuz.
Who your West? Who
Listen.
your 2 teams
So,
in the West?
all right. As far as West Coast, I'm going with Oklahoma,
Oklahoma
And-
City. Yeah, they're good.
and I'm gonna go with Denver
Denver Nuggets. Okay. So you
because I
agree
don't
with
see I don't see
LP.
I don't see the Warriors going there this year. Sorry.
I don't
just
know.
don't.
Y'all underestimating
Nah, they're not
I'm
doing
not
nothing.
underestimating them. I'm
Playoff
not.
Jimmy.
Hey, it's crazy how
They sleeping on the Warriors.
Newsy a bandwagon, dog.
Man, Jimmy,
He bandwagoning. He was never screaming.
He
Jimmy
did the
ain't
same
doing
thing.
nothing,
He did
man.
the same. He did the same thing with LeBron, man. He did the same thing with LeBron, man.
Now
Man,
he
Jimmy-
on Warriors, man. He was
Jimmy-
on me when I
Yeah.
had
Jimmy
Oh,
just gonna
man.
be motivated for this season, and then that's it. He's gonna be just like he's been. He's just motivated right now because it's a fresh trade, and then Jimmy gonna be to the shenanigans he's been doing. That's what's gonna
To be
happen.
honest with you, by the end of the
Alright,
season, by the
He
end
ain't
of the
going for
season,
that.
I see Draymond Green knocking Jimmy Butler out.
I know.
Now that's one thing. Now that's one thing I think Jimmy will stand up. I don't think he'll let Draymond knock him out. Now I gotta
Listen,
admit, Jimmy will
everybody
probably.
forget.
Jimmy
Everybody
is not-
forget when.
Yeah, they are
Yo,
coexistent.
what-
They the same. They match
Oh,
each other's aura so much.
I remember when Jimmy Butler tried what's his name on Miami, the vet. Haslam. Udonis
Yeah.
Haslam. When he tried Udonis Haslam, right? Let me tell you something. When I saw that, you know, I've always been a fan of Haslam, always. And he's you know, even though he's
a
always
true
been a
Florida
Heat for
guy.
life,
He's a Florida
whatever,
guy all the way.
I've always been a fan of my man Haslam, bro. But Haslam was like, "Yo, dude, I will beat your ass.
He said it too.
I will
He
beat
said
you."
that
He
right
told
to
him, "I will
Jimmy. He
beat
said it to
your
Jimmy.
ass."
He did.
That's
And
chill
Jimmy
out.
sat down.
That's the basketball.
And Jimmy
I'm
sat
talking
down.
about.
Like Jimmy walked away. Like
Jimmy
I saw that.
chilled
So,
out.
yeah.
Jimmy
Yeah.
didn't want
Yeah.
no smoke when
He
Haslam
want
said,
none of
"Yo,
that
I will
smoke.
beat your ass."
Yeah.
He didn't want none of that
So-
smoke, Kev. He didn't want none of that
He
smoke,
didn't want
Kev.
no
Not at all.
smoke. No
Udonis,
smoke.
interesting story about Udonis. He's managed to play his entire career in Florida.
Miami.
He won a
Yeah,
high school
he did.
championship. Miami High School. He was the player of the year and won a high school championship in basketball. High school. Went to the Florida Gators. Won a national.
Hey, who he went to? Hey,
With
what he
the
did? What he
Florida
did?
All right, not too much. Not too much.
What-
not
what
too
he
much.
did?
He won a
Hey,
national
okay.
championship with the Florida Gators,
sir.
and then got drafted
Hey.
by his home city, Miami Heat, and won a championship with the Heat. He's won championships
Yeah,
at every single
I
level
commend
in
that.
his home state. Right in
And
his
that don't
home
happen
state.
like that.
Nobody
That don't
else
happen
has
like
done
that.
Nobody.
No, you're
else
right.
has
And that's
done
why I call him Mr. Florida, because like you said,
Yeah.
he everything he's gotten to do in Miami Heat made it that way for him. They made him the elder statesman. And even though I think that last year he was just kind of like he was on the roster, but he wasn't really playing. He was just kind of like almost kind of like an extended coach, basically.
Yeah,
But they
he was
gave
an
him that
extended
much
coach.
love
They gave him like
because
an
of what he
extended
did.
coach kind of a contract. But we're getting over on time. But real quick, Kev, I want to get your top 4 teams. Give me your top 4 teams, and then we're gonna roll into these history players and close out. But who do you got as your top 4?
I'm gonna go with Cuz because Knicks all day. Knicks all day.
Okay.
Knicks all day. I don't care who we play. To be honest with you, it's Knicks all day against anybody. Really,
right.
I don't care if it's the Cavaliers. I don't care if it's the Celtics. I don't care if it's Detroit, the Bucks. Bring the Bucks too if they want. I want all the smoke.
I hope we
Like
play y'all
that.
because
Yeah,
y'all up on us on the season series right now. I don't
Yeah.
like that.
We are.
Okay.
We are.
Okay. So,
Listen,
who's your Western
the
team?
West. I'm gonna have to agree with the panel. I think Thunder and the Nuggets. I think those are the 2 teams that are the most elite in the West right now. And I like when LP brought up Russell Westbrook because I think Russell Westbrook goes completely unnoticed over there. And I think Denver letting him be him is the reason why he's playing the way he's playing right now. So I gotta say Denver and Thunder going to the WCF.
Well, we gonna
And
see how he play.
and I just want to add on to cousin Noopsy and Kev. Yo, y'all know I'm a diehard New Yorker, New York to the heart. Y'all see I'm repping.
Obviously not. You're not. If you ain't picking your team, I'm getting on you because you
Nah.
I'm
No, I want the Knicks to be there. It's just that the way I want the Knicks.
Anyway.
LP,
No,
you ain't
no,
gotta
I want the
explain
Knicks to.
yourself. Sometimes
I want the
I'll
Knicks
pick
to be
against my
there.
dog.
Hey, Newsy, call him Tiptoe LP, man.
Nah. Abe been knowing me for years. Abe know that I'm a Knicks to the. I've been a Knicks fan since 1989. 1989.
Just like me, sometimes you pick with your head. Like I
No,
might want the
I'm just
Dolphins
being.
to win every game, but when we make our pick on who you got, I'll be picking the other team, and they be like, "Why you ain't picking the Dolphins?" I'm like, "Cause I know we ain't gonna win
It's
this
just being
game."
realistic. I'm just being realistic with what's going on. I've been a fan since 1989. Like I said, Kiki Vanderway, Trent Tucker, Kenny Walker won the slam dunk contest. Patrick Ewing, Mark Jackson, John Starks, and Charles Oakley. 1989. I've been a Knicks fan. So
we know you know your stuff, LP. You don't have to do the whole yearbook rundown of every Knicks player. We need that.
The thing with those teams is
Q, I want to get Q's. I didn't get Q's top 4. Let me get Q's top 4 real quick. Then
my bad.
Make the right decision.
Go ahead, Q. Who you got?
Hey, on the East, I'm going with the Cavs, and I'm going with, I think, the Bucks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the Cavs and the Bucks on the East. Yeah. On the West, I'm going with the Warriors.
Okay. Playoff Jimmy.
Playoff Jimmy.
Not Jimmy, man. Not Jimmy.
Yeah, Q. I applaud you, man.
Yeah.
So
they good. I like them.
Who's the other team?
I got Golden State, and I got the Grizzlies.
Memphis Grizzlies.
Wow.
I got Ja Morant. I got Ja Morant taking them boys to the final. They are number 2 in the West.
At least you said
they are
got
too,
two in the West.
They are number 2 in the West.
Yes,
they are. Yes, they are.
Yes,
they are too. Yup.
They 37 and 19. Hey,
that's a good pick.
They starting to roll. They starting to roll. They starting to gel.
Yep.
On the second half of the season.
Right.
Hey, get Desmond Bain starting to knock shots down. I mean, they looking good. They looking good. They on a
good pick.
That's a good pick, actually.
I would take Minnesota and the Lakers over Grizzlies.
What? Wow.
We're gonna hold everybody accountable to their picks, though. So we're gonna make sure.
Did you say the Timberwolves over the Timberwolves?
I would take Minnesota over them. I would take the Clippers over them, and I would take
keep a record.
The Lakers over them. I would take all 3 of them.
So everything everybody's saying is being recorded. So we're gonna play this back, and you see how it turned out later. But keeping the thing moving, we coming down to the last little segments here, and like I like to always do, this is my favorite part of the show. where we get to educate everybody about some historic players that has played in this league. And if we're having a New York episode, then it's only fitting that we have our history players of the week, courtesy of yours truly, brother Noomsy, TZ, Dave, Q to Beat, LP, and co-host Kev, and cousin Noomsy. The first, we're going to do this 2 times. We got 2 history players of this week. The first history player of the week is going to be representing none other than y'all's New York Giants, Lawrence Taylor. Ladies and gentlemen, Lawrence Taylor, one of the greatest, if not the greatest defensive player of all time in football, he was a household name. He probably led the league in sacks almost every year, every year of his career. I don't know if those numbers are accurate, but quarterback feared him, ladies and gentlemen. Cue the beat, run the blood clot list. And y'all, Kev, what are some of your memories of Lawrence Taylor as a New York Giants fan growing up? Do you have any memories of Lawrence Taylor?
I know he was a savage, bro. You know, I got to see him play a few times, bro, but he was a real savage, and his trash talking was insane, bro. But yeah. That's what I know. That's what I've seen.
Cousin, I know you were young, cousin, when LT was playing. But what do you know of Lawrence Taylor, and what are some of your memories of Lawrence Taylor? Being that you're a Jets fan, what do you know about LT though?
I don't really know much about him. I was.
See, that's you a true Giants, a true Jets fan, rather. You a true Jets fan. Like, I don't know nothing about him. Like, who is LT? Who?
I know who he is. I know who he is, but if you
I know about him,
stats and stuff like that, I really don't know. The only thing I really remember about the Giants back then was their song. I know they had like a song out back in the day. It was like "We Are the New York Giants." It was something corny. Only Giants fans would know.
LP. What are some of your memories of Lawrence Taylor?
Man, once again, man, growing up, coming up in New York, man, as a LT, man. I mean, look, he was like you said, he was the most dominant force on defense. I mean, probably the best defensive, like even to this day, probably the best defensive player. He was kind of like how Michael, and he went to North Carolina. Him and Michael Jordan are good friends. He had that same work ethic like Michael Jordan do in basketball for football, but on defense. Like, he was just so unstoppable, man. Like, he was one of those cats that could go out, go party the night before, play the football game, and go hard, man. Like, I mean, just, man, look at these clips that we're looking at. Right. Smashing Philly, smashing Detroit.
So let me ask y'all this. Like, if we were to tell TZ Dave and compare Lawrence Taylor to somebody of today's generation, would you say, or somebody he may recognize, would you say he was like a Ray Lewis? Or who would you say that Lawrence Taylor is equivalent to of this era that we can explain to TZ?
I would say he's close to that dude that was on the Rams, I don't know his name, number 99, that when they won the Super Bowl, he's what's his name?
Arnold. What's his name? I know you're talking about the defensive player. Did he recently retire?
Yeah, he recently retired.
The defensive tackle.
Yeah, he's something like, I would say, and he still wasn't as good as Lawrence Taylor, but he kind of had that same swag like an LT though. That guy for the Rams. He retired now, but I don't know the
Aaron
name.
Aaron Donald.
There it is. It is. Yo, Kev, appreciate it, Kev. That's it, Aaron Donald. That would be similar to what LT style of play.
But he was a better version of Aaron Donald.
I can't even be mad at Aaron. Yeah, I can't even be mad at that one.
Yeah, that's a pretty good.
Aaron Donald was
you young players young guys who never seen LT play, didn't know anything about LT. Just imagine Aaron Donald, but just like 5 times better. And then there's your LT. Now, it's being that we also have to show some love to the New York Jets. There's also, I'm sorry, did you want to get in something, Kev? Did you have something to add in before we go to
actually, as a New York Giant, shout out to my brother, because me and him used to debate heavy about it, and he was so mad that we picked Odell Beckham over Aaron Donald. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, that was a.
Damn.
But I don't know, man. Odell turned out to be pretty good, but I don't know if he was
Yeah.
Aaron Darnold good. So
No, Aaron
Yeah,
Donald was, he was there when we was drafted. That's what I was saying. But yeah, go ahead.
y'all could have went either way with that. But all right,
Mhm.
now our New York Jets history player of the week. As you know, we got to show love to both sides in New York as well. This player, you mentioned him, cousin Noomsy. You mentioned him earlier as to when Darrelle Revis, when he was playing with the New York Jets and then went over to the Patriots, the rival team.
Right.
But he was still a Jet first. So
Mhm.
it took a New York Jet to help that New England team be great. So that's some kind of, you can take that with you at least to make yourself feel warm and fuzzy inside, like Sam needed to tell himself that about Saquon Barkley. But yeah, so without further ado, Darrelle Revis is our history player for this side. And I don't know where my man Q the Beat went, but Q the Beat usually would run the highlight clips. But since Q the Beat is having technical issues, I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about Darrelle Revis myself. Darrelle Revis is probably definitely a top 3 all-time defensive back. Top 3.
Okay.
I got Deion Sanders, I got Ed Reed, and I got Revis. Those are my top 3 best DBs all time ever. And for Revis to be in that, I'm talking about when he lined up against a receiver, he took away the entire side of that field. Like quarterbacks were not throwing to that side of the field. And there's very few guys. That's why I say like Deion and Ed Reed. Those are the only other guys I can think of that would completely take away a complete half of side of the field. And Ed Revis was that. They called his little section Revis Island. Y'all remember
I was just about to ask cousin Noomsy if she knew that.
I remember that.
Because as a wide
Revis
receiver,
Island.
when you out there by yourself with just Revis, that's just an island. Because ain't nothing coming to you, ain't nothing going your way. Like you isolated. It ain't nothing happening over there. So Darrelle Revis, man, he was one of the best. What do you remember about Darrelle Revis, cousin Noomsy?
That he was the best.
Yeah.
That's it, yo. And when he left, it broke my heart. I was really upset about that, yo.
And
But he was. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, cousin Noomsy. Go ahead.
But he's one of my favorite Jets ever. Period.
Yeah.
When he went on the other side, though, I was like, I mean, that's crazy. But my favorite Jet ever.
Yeah, Darrelle Revis was, like I said, one of the greatest of all time. So if y'all don't know nothing about Darrelle Revis, make sure y'all go and Google him, look him up, whatever y'all need to do. Now, we're a little bit over, but we're going to chop this thing up and make this close out our New York Knicks segment with our 2-minute turn up, like we always do at the last 2 minutes. Everybody go around and say their last little piece for the rest of the show. So for me, my little 2-minute turn up is going to be this. I'm just going to give a little bit more on my Miami Heat. Look, this is the second half of the season. We need to figure it out. Like, let's get it together. We just won a game last night against Toronto. Let's build off of that. All right, I know we just got Andrew Wiggins. I like Davion Mitchell and his defense. I think he's going to be a real good defender, and we need that against teams with elite point guards. So the fact that we got a good defensive point guard, I love that. Jaime Jaquez, get it together. I don't know what's going on. Duncan Robinson, please get traded. Tyler Hero, learn how to play some defense. Like everything that I asked for in the second half of the season, I just want to see my team play better and do better. Right now, we are a play-in team. Either make the playoffs or just tank now so we can get a good draft pick. One of the two. That's all I got to say for my last little 2-minute turn up. LP, 2 minutes. What do you got?
How can I say? Well, I just want to see the Knicks just push forward and just try to, finish the second half and get the highest seed we can get. Like I said, I'm a diehard Knicks fan, 1989. I'm being realistic. I want us to, I want to say we're going to win the championship. I hope we do, but I'm just saying we're going to have to show that we can beat the Clevelands, we can beat the Bostons. If we can't beat those guys, it's just not realistically going to happen. But if we show we can beat them, then we can. And then I just want to go to your point, what you said with the Heat. that hey, I like those. I like Andrew Wiggins and the guys that they got because they're coachable, and I think they'll be all right over there. And I think they're gonna be a play-in, but there's nobody in the college that's coming out for them to tank because college is just there ain't really been a good college draft since 2019 when Williamson and Morant came out. So yeah, that's about it. That's what I got.
Okay, cool. Kev, last 2 minutes, what you got?
You know, I just want my Knicks to get healthy because we've been missing that all season. And just you know, play better defense. That's all I want the Knicks to do. Play better defense.
Better defense, short and sweet. TZ Dave.
I agree.
Yep.
Like to shout out my Warriors, man. We've been becoming the
Warriors.
No, you don't get to do that, man.
I thought you were a Bucks fan, TD. I thought you were a Bucks fan.
Wait,
He get on
you
that
said you was a
pressure time.
Bucks fan. Now you a Warriors
Tell him,
fan.
yeah,
Which
get
one
on
is
him.
it?
Get on that
Kev.
pressure time.
Get him,
No,
Kev.
I'm a Warriors fan for real. Like, those my two teams for real.
So that's
Hey,
new
cousin,
info to
how
me,
many
TD.
teams
Yeah, that's
does
new
TZ have?
new info to me. I thought you was
The
Bucks.
Warriors. I've been claiming the Warriors.
Nah,
So
I know,
your Warriors
nah,
more than Bucks? Your
Go
your
ahead,
Warriors
get-
is more than
I'm
Bucks?
both. I'm both.
Just
Like, when they
just
play
your
each
2
other, I
minutes.
root
Go
for both.
ahead,
at
like
the same time.
get your time in. Go ahead.
But shout out to the Bucks, man. We coming, we get healthy. Kuzma has been a big piece. I like that. And back to my Warriors, we 4-1 in our last 5. We climbing up in the West. We 8 now. We was just 11th, so now we playing in. So shout out to them. Let's do it, man. Oh, and for the Bucks too, since it's a Knicks episode, we play y'all March 28th. I'm ready for that. About to get y'all there.
Ooh.
Yo, tune me in for that one, cousin. Tune me in for that
Ready for
one.
the belt.
Cause
All right, cousin.
I'm here for that. I'm here
We
for the
owe y'all
smack
that
talk.
belt.
I'm here for it.
All
I'm here
right,
for the smack
cousin. Give
talk.
me your
Word.
your 2 minutes, cousin. It's on you.
I'm gonna make sure I
Go
call cousin Newsy too. Tell Newsy to call you, yeah.
ahead.
So
I got you.
So my next play, Boston. You know, like I'm just like I just want them to get healthy, like what Kev said, and I'm just gonna put all the positive out there. Like we can beat Boston, we really can. We can do it. Our defense needs to get better, but other than that, like I'm team Nick all day. Knicks tape, baby.
All
That's
Right
right.
here, baby.
That's what's up.
I'm with you. I'm with you, cousin Noopsy. I'm with you. I'm with you, cousin Noopsy. I feel that. I'm with you.
You to be, take us home, bro.
Y'all just stay warm, be safe out there. I don't really got nothing for today. I'm gonna let y'all Knicks fans and Giants fans, you know, I'm gonna let y'all have it.
And the
Even
Yankees
though
for
I'm a
baseball too.
I'm
We
a
didn't
low
mention
key-
the Yankees, but Yankees too.
I'm a
Right,
low-key
'cause who
Giants
would've
fan
meant?
though, because I always been
Oh.
a fan of Lawrence Taylor, and I got my man from out here, H-Town. Hey, sack champion, Giants. Y'all already know who
Michael
he is.
Strahan.
Yes, sir. So we
Michael
always,
Strahan.
you know, always got to say what's up to Michael Strahan.
Oh,
But, you know,
Strahan, yeah, Texas Southern, man. Shout out to
Yeah,
Texas Southern.
yeah.
Okay, man.
Hey, Noopsy,
You know
TSU,
it,
let's get it, man.
HBCU. Shout out to
Yeah,
my
okay.
HBCU, Texas
Yeah,
Southern. Yeah, that's what's
And
up.
listen-
But yeah, once
That's
again,
where Michael
man,
Strahan went. That's where he went. Texas
yeah,
Southern.
he
Yes,
went
indeed.
there. So many other grades. We are the official voice of HBCU sports. This is the
Yep,
Sports Time Zone. I wanted to thank all my guests, all my New York people in the building, my cousin Noomsi, also LP, my man, and my main man Kev, co-host. Also, y'all can check him out on Nixon Ish Podcast. We're gonna drop it in the comments if y'all want to check it out. But yo, for all my people, TZ Dave and Q to Beat, Sports Time Zone, we are
One more time, hit that like, share, subscribe button. Follow us on Instagram, Sports Times on YouTube, 300K, man. Let's go, man.
Let's go,
Let's